If your chords sound messy, well, I've got 3 tiny fixes that's gonna make you sound pro today. And the best thing is this routine only takes 1 minute once you know it. I'm gonna break it down step by step so you can master it. Let's get into it. Pressing too hard on the guitar chokes your tone and it also slows down those chord changes. And it just makes it very uncomfortable to play, right? And it won't be long until you put that guitar down. This is why we need to apply just enough pressure to the chord so it sounds better and it makes it easier to play, right? So I'm just got a D here, and you really want to apply just enough pressure so it rings out perfectly. I find a lot of people tend to really, put all their effort into it, like they're holding it down, like their life depends on it, and they're bloody, their knuckles are turning white or whatnot, but you just lose energy and it makes it very uncomfortable to play like that. So just applying enough pressure. If you find it's also buzzy too, right? So if you find it's kind of a bit buzzy like that, you've got to apply a bit more pressure just to get that nice ring out there, right? But this would be too much pressure right now. So I'm holding really hard, too much pressure, right? Releasing. Not enough pressure, right? And going up. And that right there is probably 4 out of 10 pressure, and that is the sweet spot right there. So it's very important that you're not pushing down too hard, guys. You want to make this easy for yourself, and just muck around doing that with different chords. It would be the same with the G here, right? That would be too much pressure. That's starting to hurt my fingers when I push down too hard. I release. That's not enough. It's starting to buzz. I push it again a bit harder. That's the sweet spot right there. About 4 out of 10 pressure. So a lot of the mess and the uncertainty comes from the strumming hand, guys, particularly when you're doing those chord changes. A lot of people stop going from one chord to the other, and I totally get it, right? It's normal, but you really want to keep this strumming hand going at all times if you want to progress quicker, right? And a good way to do that is just doing some air strums, really getting that wrist relaxed and just moving it up and down, right? So I'm just going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then I want to move it onto the strings, and I'm just muting my guitar here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And on 2 and 4, add a little accent there. Just a little pop. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2. Just strum a little harder on 2 and 4. Get a little accent in there. 1 and 2. Keeping the strumming hand going. And get comfortable with that, we'll get on to our next drill. So clean guitar players don't change their strum. They remove any extra noise getting in the way, right? So a good way to do this is to get your thumb involved and just to mute certain strings, right? So if I'm strumming a D chord here, if I play all the strings, it sounds quite heavy, right? That low E there is getting in the way. So what you do is get your thumb wrapped around the top, mute that string. Don't press on it. You don't want to activate the string, but just make it dead there. And now strum. You've got a much cleaner chord. It doesn't matter if that A gets in the way from time to time. That's fine. Same with the C chord here. If I'm playing a C, one way to do it is to get your ring finger here on the 3rd fret. You can rest it against the E there, where it's dead. You can play the whole chord, or if you'd like to, you can also get your thumb wrapped around the top and just gently mute that E, right? So now you got a C. These are great ways just to kind of tighten up the chord and to make them sound a lot cleaner. So I'm going to give you a little comparison of how it would sound before and after, right? This first example, I'm going to be doing a lot of pressure. I'm also going to play some chords with minimal pressure. There's going to be a lot of noise coming from the strings, and of course the strumming hand is going to stop. And then I'll show you another example of tightening all three things up, and yeah, you'll hear the difference here. All right, now we're going to do the 60-second routine. I want you to follow me at home. I'll show you how it only takes 60 seconds. All right, it's going to be a 1 minute cleanup. All right, and here we go. So firstly, pressure ladder. We've got to make sure, do we have enough pressure on this chord? Test it. Still a bit buzzy? Put some more pressure on it. It's starting to sound good. Oh, my fingers hurt a little bit. I'm going to bring it back a little bit. And that's the sweet spot right there. I've got a nice clean chord. Now we want to test our hand path, okay? We want to make sure our hand is moving up and down. Right? Just test it on that chord we just played. Make sure it works. We've gone up and down like that. Keeping the hand moving, flowing like a pendulum. And finally, let's test other chords with that thumb guard of ours. Let's get our thumb involved. We're going to wrap it over the top, making sure some certain strings are muted. We're going to play our C chord here, get our thumb involved, and then we can play our 4 chord loop. Here we go. So that's your 1 minute cleanup. Do this every day, guys, and honestly, you'll hear a big difference within your guitar playing. I'd love to see how it goes for you. We'll leave it there for today's video, guys. Thanks again for joining me. It always means a lot if you're tuning in and watching, particularly till the end of these videos. So I do appreciate it. If you haven't yet, hit the like button and the subscribe button. And until then, I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.